Forget the wild 0 to 60 times. Forget the giant touchscreens and the self-parking tricks. The single most important piece of EV tech for 2026 is one they aren't even talking about. What if I told you that hundreds of pounds of your car's battery is basically useless weight? And that automakers are on the verge of fixing that forever. They're doing it by turning the battery into the car itself. This is the silent revolution happening right under your feet, and it's about to define the next generation of electric cars. Welcome to the Plug-in Report. Before we dive deeper, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss the real EV stories hiding behind the headlines. Now, let's break this down. The unseen problem: dumb space and dead weight. For the last decade, EV design has been pretty straightforward. You've probably heard of the skateboard layout, a big flat battery pack sitting on the bottom, with the car's body and motors slapped on top. Simple, effective. But it has a massive flaw. That battery pack, often weighing over 1,000 pounds, only does one job: store energy. It's not helping the car structurally. It's not supporting weight. It's not adding rigidity. It's just heavy cargo. It's like carrying a backpack full of bricks. The backpack holds the weight, but it doesn't help you move. It makes things harder. Because the battery adds no strength, automakers need extra steel, braces, and structural components just to make the car safe and stiff enough. That means more weight, which means you need a bigger battery, which adds even more weight. A vicious cycle. And the space the battery takes up, that's space that could be used for people or storage. For years, automakers accepted this as the cost of going electric. But a new idea is breaking that cycle, one so obvious, it almost feels embarrassing that it took this long. The aha moment. The skeleton solution. The big idea is this: what if the battery was the structure of the car? It's called a structural battery, or more specifically, cell-to-chassis technology. Instead of putting battery cells into modules, and modules into a heavy protective box, automakers are directly integrating the cells into the car's skeleton. Imagine hundreds of battery cells arranged and bonded into a single, rigid, honeycomb-like slab. This slab is so strong that it doesn't need a separate container. It becomes the container. It becomes the floor. It becomes the backbone of the vehicle. Suddenly the battery isn't dead weight, it's a load-bearing structural element. No more backpack. Now it's the spine of the car. By turning this formerly useless mass into structural gold, engineers can eliminate dozens of parts, shave off hundreds of pounds, simplify manufacturing, and reimagine the entire vehicle from the ground up. The real-world proof. This isn't a theory, it's already here. Tesla kicked off the movement with its 4680 structural battery pack, first found in Texas-built Model Ys. The pack uses large cylindrical cells bonded into a rigid slab that connects the front and rear of the car like a giant bridge. Here's how wild this is. The seats don't bolt to a floor, they bolt directly onto the battery. Meanwhile, BYD is pushing its own breakthrough blade battery, using long, thin cells arranged like structural beams. They create a pack so strong it famously survived a brutal nail penetration test without catching fire. CATL's Keelan battery integrates the cooling system between the cells, turning cooling plates into load-bearing support structures. Another structural approach, different from Tesla and BYD, but heading toward the same goal, and BMW's upcoming Neue Klasse EVs? They're building the battery casing itself as a structural part of the chassis. It's official. The era of the passive battery brick is over. The mind-blowing improvements. So why should you care? 3 reasons: performance, range, and safety. Handling and driving feel. A structural battery massively increases torsional stiffness, how resistant the car is to twisting forces. More stiffness, sharper steering, better handling, more grip, and a car that feels carved from a single block of aluminum. Your EV feels sportier without adding power. Range and efficiency. Structural packs eliminate hundreds of unnecessary parts, brackets, casings, supports, modules, and that cuts huge weight. A lighter car equals more range, or the same range with a smaller, cheaper battery. Tesla has suggested cost reductions of over 35% tied to its structural pack innovations. That translates to cheaper EVs for everyone. Safety. Structural packs distribute crash forces across a wider area, strengthening the passenger cabin. Combine that with safer cell designs, like BYD's nail-test surviving blade cells, and structural batteries can actually improve crash safety. This isn't just engineering. This is a full evolution of the EV. The engineering hurdles. A. Reality check. Okay, time for the uncomfortable truth. Structural batteries are extremely hard to repair. With a modular battery, if a module dies, a technician can swap it out. But with a structural pack where everything is bonded and integrated, it's complicated. Some early structural packs have been called essentially non-repairable. If something goes wrong deep inside the pack, the only solution may be replacing the entire floor of the car, a repair that could easily cost tens of thousands of dollars. Engineers are working on smarter battery management systems that can isolate failing cells before things get serious, but the trade-off is real. Massive improvements in performance and cost, in exchange for harder repairs. Is it worth it? That's up to consumers and automakers to decide. This kind of deep engineering is what makes the world of EVs so exciting right now. Not the flashy screens or the marketing buzzwords, the fundamental breakthroughs happening under the surface. If you love these kinds of deep dives, like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next one, from the Plug-in Report. And let me know in the comments. Is the trade-off of tricky repairs worth the huge gains in safety, performance, and cost? In 2026, automakers will keep bragging about acceleration times and giant screens, but the real story will be invisible: the revolutionary shift from batteries as dead weight to batteries as the entire structural backbone of the car. It's the transformation that will make EVs lighter, safer, stronger, cheaper, and more efficient, and it's happening right under your feet. The battery is no longer a passenger, it is the car, and it's about to change everything.